meeting of Fundy Albert to order for February 4th. Since the deputy mayor is not here with us tonight, we need somebody to volunteer to preside over the meeting, which I think Loretta has agreed to do.
It's a hard battle, but I think I won it. So as the clerk has called the meeting to order at 6 p.m., the agenda that was circulated in advance, there was a new agenda that was circulated today, so I just want to make sure everybody has that new agenda. I would like to add to the agenda, add number 12, public statements and inquiries. Is there any other things, to be added to the agenda? If not, I'll have... Sorry?
I'd like to add two for a closed session, please.
Okay.
Labor and employment. Thank you.
Okay. So can I have someone adopt the agenda as amended, adding the two additional labor and employment into closed session and the public statements and inquiries?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Conflict of interest declarations with regards to the agenda that was presented tonight. Does anybody have any conflict of interest to declare? Nope. A couple of housekeeping items. First of all, Deputy Ward Russell wanted me to give her regrets for not being here tonight, but she did have a prior commitment for work, so that's why she couldn't be here tonight. And I think we have some technical difficulties tonight, so this meeting is being recorded, but it won't be videoed, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. So we do have some minutes to adopt tonight. So the draft minutes of November 19th, 2024, the Committee of the Whole meeting were circulated in advance. Are there any errors or omissions with those minutes? If not, I will take a motion to accept them.
So moved.
Seconder?
Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
The draft minutes of January 2nd, 2025 was a special meeting. They were circulated in advance of this meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? If not, I'll take a motion to accept them.
So moved.
Seconder? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Draft minutes of the January 7th, 2025 regular meeting were circulated in advance. Are there any errors or omissions? I just had one thing, which I think it was a typo on page 6. It should say yay, not AYE. That's the only.
That's the correct words.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know. So there's no errors or omissions. Can I have someone accept the minutes? Seconder? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The draft minutes of the January 21st, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting were circulated in advance of this meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Can I have someone make a motion? Councillor Land, seconded by Councillor Jonah. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
January 28, draft minutes of the January 28, 2025 special meeting were circulated in advance of tonight. Are there any errors or omissions? Can I have someone make a motion to accept the minutes as circulated? Councillor Jonah, seconder. Councillor Coates. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda. So the clerk has given us a little brief here because the consent agenda is new to us. This is our first consent agenda, so I'll read to you what she has provided to us. The council has directed a number of items at the Committee of the Whole meeting to the February 4th regular council meeting. As a reminder, there is no discussion on the consent agenda. When approving the consent agenda, you are approving all the proposed motions indicated on the synopsis reports provided. If council wants to discuss a consent agenda item, it can be removed prior to the motion being read and discussed during the administration report. Once the discussion is finished, a motion can be made for approval or modification of that item. So is there any councillor that wants something to move to on? If not, I'll take a motion to read the motion that has been presented.
I'll make that motion. I move that council approve the consent agenda for February 4th, 2025.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Coates. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 6, public and administrative presentation. Yep, there's no 5-minute presentations tonight, but there's one 2-minute presentation by Chris Kelly. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris Kelly.
Who sets the timer? No.
I can't set it because
I'll
my
be-
phone's occupied.
I'll be a story, but I will cover a variety of topics though as they popped up in the consent agenda.
Yep.
I did want to reiterate, as I did at the last committee meeting, about how flabbergasted I am about the budget that was approved in the inequity in tax rates between the former villages and some of the former LSDs. I don't think people realize how big an inequity it is, so that's why I bring it up again. My main concern tonight was the consent agenda for the approval of the lease of your municipal building in Riverside, Albert. Don't kill me, all of you sitting over there. I'm completely in favor of a credit union in our area. I just think you kept saying it was a fair and open process. Except you sole sourced from day one. That building at one point in one of your meetings was going to go up for sale. That was knocked back. I kept waiting for a for sale sign so I could go see the building. And then the next I heard about it was at the committee of the whole when I watched it 2 days later, and it had gone from going up for sale to all of a sudden it's going for a lease and it's going sole sourced. That's not the way to do business. It just is not. And I just wanted to voice my displeasure at that. Would a credit union have made sense and would it probably have won? Probably. But if that's the case, if that's the way we do business, it seems the first person in always on stuff that isn't already available has first right of refusal. So should I can go and start making offers on municipal assets? That's the way it seems. And lastly, the grant requests. I was unsure as to the process, watching the committee of the whole, as to how some grants were accepted and others weren't. And if anybody can explain how you went through that, it means that the way I saw it, if you've asked for money and got money before, you got money again. Makes no sense to me. And that was my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I guess I have not much to offer. We have corresponded a little bit over the municipal land, but this is certainly items we can take back to council and have a further discussion on. I appreciate your concerns and I appreciate that you bring them forward and don't let them fester. So good communication is always important, so thank you. The next item on the agenda is reports and recommendations from the committee and private meetings. The first one is the Personnel Committee. The Personnel Committee, I can just report, we have booked an administration meeting for February 27th. And the next committee is the Emergency Measures Committee. Is there a report update on that? No.
No, there will be for the next meeting because there's a couple of meetings coming up.
Thank you. Reports from administration. A is the Fundy Albert Housing PID PAN number. Are you going to report on that?
I don't really have a report, it's just an administrative item. The lawyer had pointed out that when we had done a legal document, the PAN and the PID were used incorrectly. Well, it was listed as a PAN number, but it was really the PID number. And the recommendation from the lawyer is just to change the wording to say PID instead of PAN and leave the number the same. So that way there's not a lot of confusion, it's not changing the number. So it's really just to clean that up so we can get the final legal document to
And I believe you put a resolution or a motion in the package.
Correct.
Yep, so if I can have somebody read that motion.
I'll read it. Whereas a motion in relation to the land disposition on Water Street, Riverside, Albert, made in September 25th, 2024, and February 6th, 2024 meetings, referred the PAN number instead of the PID number, be resolved that the village of Fundy, Albert agrees to donate a parcel of land on Water Street, Riverside, Albert, with PID number 0062-8057, PAN number 176-6382 for Fundy, Albert Housing.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Coates? Is there any discussion on the motion? Councillor Coates, any discussion? No, good. Okay. All in favor, say aye. The next one is the Alma lift station, which was the modification to the agenda early this morning or around lunchtime. So I'm going to let I just completely forgot your last name. Ian, give a little presentation on that. So thank you.
Apologise for this coming at the last minute. We've got to receive the actual review quotes here to allow us to move forward with this. This is an issue that has previously been discussed with council prior to Christmas and certainly on the last Halloween meeting regarding there only being one sanitary lift pump in each of the lift stations in Alma. This is a risk that we've carried for a couple of months now, and so we do need to address. The initial plan was to purchase and get reimbursed through the province prior to Christmas, which we didn't get the approval through the province until the last couple of weeks. And then look at getting the other pumps refurbished once we could add that to the budget for 2025. As I said, the funding didn't come through back in the last year, but now we're in a position where we can do both at the same time. It has been included in the budget for 2025 to refurbish the two lift pumps, and also the approval for the funding through the province has come through for the purchase of the two new pumps. This puts us in a position where we can have one new and one refurbished pump in each lift station, which will actually be really beneficial for us to, it's the first step towards having a really efficient asset management plan with the sanitary system within Alma. The cost that will come through for this after refurbishing the pumps is a total of $22,550, which should have to be absorbed by the Alma utility budget. As I said, we've already added that to the budget for 2025. And the cost of the new pumps is a total of $49,948.90. Both of those figures are before tax. Obviously, this is a figure that we have to pay up front through our capital. Once that's paid, we can then get reimbursed from the province, so there should be no cost to, or minimum cost to our utility in terms of the new pumps. The recommendation tonight is that we approve the use of capital funds to purchase new pumps and then be reimbursed, and also approve the funding for the refurbishment of the pumps that currently sat on the bench in the workshop. The other options are we just don't, and we continue to hold the risk, which is something we can do, but that is a risk that would cost us a significant amount in pump trucks if we were to move forward that way. We could move forward with just approving the funding for the purchase of new pumps and not refurbish the old ones just yet. That puts us in a position where we maintain holding the risk of having to fund back trucks to pump the sewage if those pumps fail. For a period of up to 12 weeks is the lead time for the purchase of the pumps. Or we could just approve the funding for the refurbishment and not go with purchasing the new ones. Again, there's about a 9 to 10 week lead time with the refurbishment, and it's still only leaves us with one refurbished new pump in each lift station, and the other one we don't 100% know the state of them because they've never been lifted and thoroughly checked. The risks involved are we could have a system failure. The absolute worst catastrophic issue that could happen there is that we can't get the back trucks in, the system overflows, and we have an environmental incident. However, we've looked at the capacity of the system, and as long as we can get the back trucks in on a continuous basis, it shouldn't be that. It's just a cost, approximately $750 per day, whilst waiting to get the new pumps in. Like I said, it could take up to 10 weeks, so that cost will significantly escalate quickly. The other risk we've got is, without replacing and refurbishing, we've got to reduce redundancy in the system. If we have another pump going, we are then holding that risk again. And there's an ongoing risk that increased risk that failure could happen. And again, if we don't move forward with both the replacement and refurbishment, we just put ourselves in a position where we've got an inefficient asset management plan, and we're more leaning towards a reactive maintenance rather than proactive maintenance that longer term will absolutely reduce our costs in maintaining the system. Anybody got any questions about that?
Yes, I do. Please.
You have to make
I
a,
have to have a
Yeah.
motion on the floor in order to have a discussion.
yes,
Correct?
thank you. Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Can you read the motion?
It's under recommendation.
It is recommended the council approve the expenditures for the refurbishment of both pumps as budgeted in the 2025 utility budget, and the transfer of capital funds to cover the cost of purchasing two new pumps to be reimbursed to the Allen Sanitary Lift Station.
Motion, do I have a seconder? No, start the discussion, so back to you, sorry.
Yes, we discussed this in the last committee of the whole meeting, I do believe. I see the costs are less than half to have them rebuilt, which is great. Did we get the funding for these new pumps?
Yes, it got approved, I think, the day after the committee of the whole meeting.
So how much do they cover of the new pump? All of it, part of it?
All except the GST,
Yeah.
or the HST.
So they cover the pump? Okay. Okay. So you want to take out the existing pump, order a new pump, put the rebuild that's getting fixed right now back in, correct? For this one?
So currently, there's one pump in each,
Yes.
which, again, we don't know 100% what state they're in, and there's a spare slot in each. So the plan is to direct the pumps to get refurbished and order new ones. Whichever one comes in first will go in that empty slot. When the other one comes in, we then remove the pump that's been sat there pumping away for the last few months by itself, put that on the bench to then assess what state they're in, whether or not they're worth looking at the budget, see if we can then refurbish them to have them as our redundancy to drop back in if one of the other pumps fails.
Okay. So we're going to end up with a new pump and a refurbished pump in each lift station when we get finished. And the new pumps are 10 to 12 weeks away.
Yeah, the lead time on both. The refurbishment is slightly shorter, as long as you can get the parts, and then the purchase of the pumps is 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay. So you have a pump already now that you refurbished, correct?
Yeah.
How far away is that before
That is
it's complete?
stripped apart on the bench, ready to go. As soon as this funding is approved, we can write a cheque because it is upfront payment for the parts before he'll start work on putting it back together.
Okay. Did he give you a timeline how long it takes to get it back?
About 9 weeks.
9 weeks?
Yes, for the refurbishment. A lot of this is the lead time for the parts coming in. And hopefully with the current political situation higher up, hopefully that won't impact anything.
Okay.
But it may.
I'm in support of buying 2 new pumps, one for each, and getting both refurbished ASAP. Because we've had discussion and it is very, very important that both of these pumps are at least brought back up to speed. We've been lucky that nothing's happened and hopefully we can get the 8 to 10 weeks ahead until it's okay. So I would support the motion.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on the matter? Councillor Coates?
On the screenshot of 2025 utility budget, there's wastewater lift station. There's 42,081. Was that for pumps, or was that?
The pumps were included with that. I couldn't tell you exactly what else was included in that, the pump, the refurbishment of the pumps was included in that, because like I said, the original plan in 2024 we didn't have the budget to refurbish, so we were pushing towards the transfer of capital to pay for new pumps and be reimbursed, to then add the refurbishment cost to the 2025 budget, and then have that for this year.
The second question I have, where did the pump come from? Where do you get to buy one?
Where the figures come from, I don't know off the top of my head.
I was just saying, with all this
Well,
back and forth,
situation,
if they come from the States, I don't want to pay 25%.
There is a risk that if we don't get it in the next 30 days that they may be coming from the States and it could be an increased cost all the time. So,
I would say I would support it if we ordered the right away and guaranteed the price on them.
So we're going off the quote that we've received from the service provider, right? So they would have sourced some price.
yeah, we asked them in the new year to go out and re-quote, because obviously the quote we had was over a month old. And I said they've not come out really any different. So at the moment, depending on
One more question, if I may, or something. You ordered the pumps, you got a rebuilding, is that the same company?
Yeah.
Okay, he's doing it all.
Yeah.
Okay. The grant that has been approved, is there a timeline on it? If there's a hiccup that we can't get from the States because of whatever happens.
I don't have a definite answer, but my initial was that no, there would not be a limit on that. That's what a grant is. It would be, because you can move money around in grants and things, so, it would just be, you could go and change the scope of the request if you needed to and use the money for something else if you had to, so, I believe there is no timeline on that.
Okay.
And this is paying the pumps up front. So if we order them tomorrow, pay them tomorrow, if the price changes early next week, they should be safe.
Okay. Also, there's gonna be money short when you order, where are you gonna take that money from? When you buy them, if you buy them tomorrow, you gotta write a check for them, where's that money gonna come from? You don't have it in your budget.
No, we were asking to take it from, to take it by,
Capital funds.
yeah, capital funds. Right?
Yes.
For the purchase, take from the capital fund.
So the new pump cost here, you said, I just want to clarify, that is 100% covered except for the HST. Okay. Is there any other discussion on them?
To me, this is one of the easiest decisions we've had to make in 2 years. We gotta keep stuff moving, so let's get her done.
So, everybody's ready for the question then? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Bylaws. Bylaw number 2025-1, a bylaw respecting dog control in Fundy, Albert. This would be the first and second reading for this evening. I did notice it is posted, if anyone's interested in reading it, it is posted on our website. Thank you. So if I could have somebody read that motion, please.
I will. A bylaw respecting dog control in Fundy, Albert. The animal control proposed bylaw was presented at the January 21st, 2025 committee of the whole meeting. The bylaw is presented to the council for the first and second reading. The draft bylaw is posted on the Fundy Albert website for public viewing as required under section 15.3 of the Local Government Act. First reading. I move that we proceed with the first reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert.
Can I have a seconder on that? Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Second reading.
No, so I read the title.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So the first reading, bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert. So now you have to adopt the first reading.
Can I have somebody read?
I move that we proceed with the second reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert. I move that we adopt the second reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control and services in Fundy, Albert.
Jim, I'm just going to ask you to back it up there, Councillor Coates, sorry. I'm just going to get you to back it up there before the second reading. We need to move the adoption of the first reading. So just that one sentence there. Just a,
Right, so here.
All right, okay. First reading. I move that we adopt the first reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert.
thank you, Councillor Coates. Do I have a seconder? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So do you read the second?
No, so now we need someone to proceed, read the motion to proceed with the second reading.
Okay.
I'll read the second. I move that we proceed with the second reading of bylaw, the title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert. I move that we adopt the second reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert.
Okay, so we're just going to put that on pause for a moment, and I'm going to ask the clerk to read her portion.
So we need someone to second that though. So Councillor Land made the motion to proceed with the
Okay.
second reading, so we need someone to second.
Can I have a seconder? Councillor Coates, all in favor say aye. I'll ask the clerk to read
All
her
right.
portion.
So bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert.
Thank you.
I move that we adopt the second reading by title of bylaw 2025-01, a bylaw respecting dog control services in Fundy, Albert.
Do I have a seconder on that motion? All in favor say aye. Motion carried. Number 10 on the agenda is the mayor and councillor statement and inquiries. So Councillor Jonah, I'll start with you.
Just a second. Find my notes wherever. Or Councillor Albert. Basically, just want to highlight a few things happening in Fundy, Albert this coming next couple of weeks. Albert Rec Council's got a carnival this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of stuff going on. I recommend 2 p.m. homemade ice cream is going to be down here, so everybody come for homemade ice cream here in Elmont and enjoy the Rec Council's carnival. February 8th, Funny Place is doing turkey dinner, a fundraiser at the Kiwanis. It's their big fundraiser for the year. February 16th, Hillsborough Kiwanis and Hillsborough Minor Hockey are doing a joint fundraising effort for both organizations. So that's a big fundraiser as well. And just a reminder that this Friday is the official first garbage day of the new collection day here in Fundy, Albert. It's going to be green and clear. I've had a number of calls. What's it going to be? It's green and clear this Friday for garbage. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jonah. Councillor Coates,
Oh, I'm good.
Councillor Land.
Just got one question for the CAO regarding our budget. Have we heard any word where we are, what the timeline is from Sussex?
Are you talking about the audit?
Sorry, yeah,
So no, I do not have an update at this time.
okay. If you've been in contact with them. See, I get the feeling that there's no urgency out there, and this is taking a long time to get done. And I'm wondering if we can,
So I'll have a conversation with our treasurer and I'll have to get back to them.
okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Land. Just a couple things that Councillor Joan already mentioned. A reminder that the Elmer Winter Carnival is happening 7th, 8th, and 9th in the February Fraud Week, February 17th. They're having a neighborhood social, so get out and meet your neighbors. And I appreciate the reminder of the new garbage day on Friday, because it is a big thing in Fundy, Albert, that we have a new garbage day. I did have one question. I've been advised by some constituents that there is a trail camera inside the rec center now. And I wasn't able to answer the question of what the purpose was for the trail camera.
It's just showing on a bit more of comes and goings for a brief period to better understand how much it's being used. Because we do understand that there are groups going in there and using it beyond what's on the calendar. So it's going to be there for a week. It's not seeing who is going in there, it's just an understanding how much it's being used to allow us to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Is the rec center the only public building that we have an issue with as far as controlling the traffic?
For this week, we'll be looking at all the different areas, and it's just almost us tidying up some loose ends coming out the back of last year where some bookings haven't transferred across to the new 2025 calendar.
Okay.
It's all about trying to basically figure out how much they're being used so our guys can go in there and make sure they are set up and cleaned correctly. Because I appreciate we've had a number of complaints where people come to use something and it's been dirty, there's been no toilet paper and things like that. It's just getting a better ground truth almost of what's being used, and we can provide a better service to people that are using it.
No, I appreciate that. I know there has been in the past an issue with too many keys circulating, but I believe, did we not at one time have a list of keys? We did haul some back.
I'm not sure about years prior, but in the last probably year and a half, I've done my best with collecting as many keys as I could, but there's still some that I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is part of an initial investigation that I'm doing into understanding our open spaces more to understand how much is being used, how much more potential there is, and hopefully in a month or two I can provide a report to the community whole to really help everybody understand what we've got, what currently we're getting out of it, and suggest what potentially we could get out of it to help us cover some of the costs through its usage rather than increasing the taxes to cover the costs around the building.
I do encourage you to introduce yourself when you go into the building as well, because lots of people are wondering, well, who is he? Is that the new public works supervisor? So it's always good to introduce yourself to get to know the locals, I guess. I think that was it for me for tonight. Oh, I had one other question about the garbage for the seniors complex on Mill Street. Did you have any luck at getting a hold of?
I've still not heard anything back from them.
Okay.
Like I said to you last week, I think we spoke.
Yeah.
We had a call up with the residents in there, and they've been advised to reach out to their property manager as well. But I think it's the same person I've been trying to reach.
Okay.
Just to make sure that everything was good to go. I appreciate it. There may be a breakdown in communication there, and I kind of expect a call on Friday, but we'll deal with that when it happens, and I'll try to reach out again, and we'll support it where we can to garbage finding.
Yeah, and I'll reach out as well, because I think there is somebody that I'll try to make a connection for you, because I think there should be somebody that's in charge of maintenance there. Might be.
I think the name of the top of my head is Evan. Somebody.
Okay. Anyway, I'll try it. Perfect. Number 11, notices of motions and resolutions. I don't believe we have any motions or resolutions tonight. Number 12, public statements and inquiries.
I'll just say thank you for passing all the motions that you had in the, what section was it? Consent agenda. Appreciate getting that so we can move forward.
Thank you. Anybody else?
What's the status of the new consolidated rural plan?
There's been nothing done to date.
So, as I recall, there was interest in most of the council attending that. You, Vera, and Jeff, you were interested in it. I think this is something that is important to every councilor. There was a tool that was used when in some of my travels. It's called auditing. Auditing, A-U-D-I-T-I-N-G. It's not financial auditing. It's when people come in and sit in who have a vested interest, like counselors, be part of a committee or be part of a proceeding, but they're not taking the management role. And because that's a very important aspect of going forward for the village of Fundy Albert, it seems to me like this would be a tool that would be available to all counselors that could come in and sit, but not usurp the leadership counselors that are sitting with the committee. For your consideration, so that you can address constituents' concerns when they hear that it's proceeding.
I appreciate that. Thank
Also,
you.
I think Ian's recommendation to buy a new pump now is very good. The Toronto Dominion foreign currency trading desk predicts that the US dollar will soar to 1.5 Canadian by the end of the year. The Central Bank of Canada has lowered the interest rates to 3%. The Federal Reserve in the United States is holding steady. It is likely that Jerome Powell is going to defy President Trump and keep the interest rates firm because he's concerned about inflation raising its head again, because the unemployment has risen slightly and the job openings have fallen considerably. So that means that there's going to be labor pressure on the economy. Prices are going to rise anyway because of the tariffs that China is going to be placing on it. Fortunately, there's a pause between Canada and the United States for a period of time. Where I think that Ian is smart to go ahead and recommend buying it now before the exchange rate is going higher.
I would agree. Thank you very much for your feedback. Well, I know Councillor Jonah and I haven't even had an opportunity to talk about the rural plan yet, and as you can see, we're working with the skeleton crew now for a few months, so we're motoring along. Is there anybody else?
As you know, I contributed to that already in a complete stream of consciousness critique, and if I can help in any way to move that forward for you, please call me.
We certainly will. Thank you. Is that anybody else? Can I have a motion, please, to go into a closed session? Councillor Land, seconder, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you for your patience as we find our way through